Welcome back, candidates, to another OCS prep video. My name is Lieutenant Lindsay, and today we're going to cover another Fireteam tactics series, specifically looking at Echelon right and left. So let's get started.
Sit up straight and look at me!
Alright, so we're going to talk about Echelon today. And you'll see here on the screen somewhere, Echelon right and left. Well, let's talk about its layout just a little bit before we get into when we use it, the advantages, the disadvantages, and a little bit of whether we should use it at OCS or not. So you'll see there the right and the left, they're basically the same. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of talk through it. You're going at a diagonal, crossed, and the idea is that you're going to be ready, team, fire, assist. So you've got your rifleman, your team leader, your automatic rifleman, and your assistant automatic rifleman. Now, the right or the left is just dependent on which side the enemy's on. So you're putting all your firepower one way or the other, right? We're either putting it left or we're putting it right. And that's important for us to remember when we use this, all right? It's not very good or advantageous for us to put ourselves into an echelon left if we're going to go into an echelon right. Or if we have the enemy on the right, right? Like that's not useful. So we need to make sure that we plan that out when we're putting our team into a position, right? We need to know which way the enemy is. So when do we use this? When do we use the echelon? The echelon is used when we know the enemy's strength and location, or during an assault, or when we're crossing short open terrain, which could be like a roadway, maybe a short open field, but it all is hinging on whether or not we know where the enemy's at. If we're going across a field, maybe the enemy's on our right side more, and we know that, then that would be the advantage that we'd want to use. So speaking of advantages, what are some of the advantages of the echelon? Well, the first major advantage is that you have all the firepower to the front. So all your firepower, if you're looking at that line going across, is all going, forward. You have the ability to shoot in one direction, and you're not going to shoot each other. Now, if the enemy is actually in front of you or off to the side a little bit, then you're in trouble. But if they're on your right side or your left side, depending on which echelon you're in, you have that advantage of firepower. Another advantage that this has is that it's easy to get into the skirmisher from here. So we can go ahead and start our assault very easily. That's why I said we use this during the assault, because we can just basically go right into a skirmisher's assault, essentially, on an enemy position. But this comes with some heavy disadvantages. The first one is that we have to know where the enemy's at. If we don't know where the enemy's at, you would never ever put your team in this position, because then you just basically allow the enemy, if they're on, say, the right, and you get into an echelon left, you're going to get flanked. And that's going to be a bad day because everybody's going to get shot in the back. So it's something that we only use if we know for sure that the enemy, where they're at. Another couple of the disadvantages is that this is a slow formation. It's not used for speed at all, and it is very difficult to control. Not only to get into this formation, but also just to keep it online and in control and going in a forward direction at an angle. If you've ever tried doing something like that, walking forward but at an angle, you can see how difficult that would be. So it's something that is just out of the realm at OCS. All right, that's kind of my point. You should never ever use echelon at OCS. You're not a tactical genius at OCS, and you don't have the experience that you're going to need in order to use this kind of a formation, as well as the fact that you're never ever going to get the drop on a tactics instructor. If you somehow do get the drop on the tactics instructor, that means you probably got lost, turned around, and came back from behind them, because they know you're coming, right? Like they're pre-positioned. They know that you're going to come through there, so you know you're going to get attacked at some point. You just don't know where. So you don't have any idea how many people are going to attack. You're going to run into. You don't know where they're at exactly. So this is just not a formation that we'll ever use at OCS. So keep that in mind. But it's something that we'll still get tested on. So make sure that you know what it is and some of the advantages, disadvantages, stuff like that. If you guys like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. That way you don't miss out on future content. And as always, thank you for watching. If you have questions, go ahead and comment those below, and I'll get to them as fast as I can. So thanks, guys.